What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now, on the last episode of Chernobyl, we left off with seeing the explosion and some of the aftermath between the committee that works with the power plant, as well as most of the nuclear workers who work within the plant, as well as reaction to pretty much how the situation's unfolding in front of them and stuff. Basically believing that it was just a minor setback in certain areas and stuff, not realizing how much more dangerous it was and stuff. So we're pretty much gonna see where this leads us now, because as we saw at the end of the episode with the bird falling down, we're pretty much seeing that the spread of it has already begun in the entire town. So let's get right on into this episode and let's see what we got going on, because that first episode was really good and very informative. So I'm real ready to see what else we got in this. See more about the story of Chernobyl behind the scenes. Episode 2, Please Remain Calm. Oh, I could tell this one is definitely going to be a good one. Things are not going to be calm. And away we go.
What is the cost of lies?
Previously on Chernobyl.
You work too hard.
Gotta get that morning coffee.
Why?
It's Saturday.
Why did you come in? Iodine 131. It's not military, it's uranium decay, U-235.
Reactor fuel.
That don't sound good.
Milk, much better than water.
No, stop, stop!
What are you doing?
These are radiation burns. Their clothes are contaminated. Help me!
Man. being
Taking it down
a
to the
doctor, doing all this stuff, that'd be some stressful stuff. Especially knowing that most of these people ain't gonna make it.
The situation in Chernobyl is stable. Military and civilian patrols have secured the region, and Colonel General Picaro, who commands troops specializing in chemical hazards, has been dispatched to the plant. In terms of radiation, Plant Director Bricano reports no more than 3.6 Rontgen. I'm told it's the equivalent of a chest X-ray, so if you're overdue for a checkup...
And foreign press?
So...
Catch up.
Thank you. Tell them the truth. Don't even hold it.
We can't adjust.
This is Professor Legasso of the Kurchatov Institute. Professor, if you have any concerns, feel free to address them with me later.
I can't.
No, this has to be addressed now.
Page 3, the section on casualties. A fireman was severely burned on his hand by a chunk of smooth black mineral on the ground outside the reactor building. Smooth black mineral. Graphite. There's graphite on the ground.
Well, there was a tank explosion. There's debris.
Yes, 3.6 Rontgen, which, by the way, is not the equivalent of one chest X-ray, but rather 400 chest X-rays. And low limit dosimeters. They gave us the number they had. I think the true number is much, much higher. Of 4 million chest X-rays in his hand.
Professor Legasso, there's no place for
That's the reason why I was peeling through his skin and stuff.
An RBMK reactor uses uranium-235 as fuel.
Okay.
Every atom of U-235 is like a bullet, traveling at nearly the speed of light, penetrating everything in its path.
That's definitely not good then.
Every gram of U-235 holds over 1 billion trillion of these bullets. That's in 1 gram. Now, Chernobyl holds over 3 million grams, and right now it is on fire.
Bruh, this is so interesting, man. I'm really learning a lot behind this stuff.
Rain will bring them down on us. That's 3 million billion trillion bullets in the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat. Most of these bullets will not stop firing for 100 years. Some of them not for 50,000
Oh.
years.
Yes, and this concern.
Yo.
From the description of a death.
And take Professor Legasso with you.
Forgive me, Governor General Secretary. But I
Do
don't...
you know how a nuclear reactor works?
No.
No.
Well, then how would you know what you're looking
How does a nuclear reactor work?
at? What?
It's a simple question.
Simple answer.
Of course. You presume I'm too stupid to understand. So I'll restate. Tell me how a nuclear reactor works, or I'll have one of these soldiers throw you out of the helicopter.
You know, this guy sounds like the one on the phone from the end of the last episode, so I'm wondering if that's him.
The nuclear reactor makes electricity with steam. Steam turns a turbine which generates electricity, where a typical power plant makes steam by burning coal. A nuclear
Okay.
plant, we use something called fission.
Okay, I've heard of fission.
Unstable elements like uranium-235, which has too many neutrons. A neutron is
The bullet.
yes, the bullet.
Yeah, which she was explaining
so,
already.
bullets are flying off of the uranium. Now, if we put enough uranium atoms close together, the bullets from one atom will eventually strike another atom.
Okay.
The force of this impact splits that atom apart, releasing a tremendous amount of energy, fission.
And the graphite.
Yes. Atoms will ever hit one another. In RBMK reactors, we surround the fuel rods with graphite to moderate, slow down the neutron flux.
Good.
What have they done?
What have they
Hey,
done?
CSI.
I don't have to. Look, that's graphite on the roof. The whole building's been blown open. The core's exposed.
See how you can tell that from here.
For God's sakes.
I mean,
Look at that
dude.
glow. That's radiation ionizing the air.
Like we can't get us over that building, or I'll have you shot.
Well, it's over for them.
Directly over that core, I promise you by tomorrow morning you'll be begging for that bullet.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you gotta listen to that dude. You gotta listen to him.
There has been an accident at Chernobyl, but I've been assured there is no problem.
I'm telling you that there is.
I prefer my opinion to yours.
I'm a nuclear physicist.
Yeah, I'm gonna take her word for it.
Yes. I work at
Take one a day for as long as they last. And go east. Get as far from Minsk as you can.
Thank you. Listener, please.
Professor Legasov, I understand you've been saying dangerous things.
Very dangerous things.
Apparently our reactor core exploded.
Please, tell me how an RBMK reactor core explodes.
I'm not prepared to explain it at this time.
As I presumed, there's no answer.
It's disgraceful. Farming, why did the deputy chairman see graphite on the roof?
Oh, that can't be.
Comrade Shabina, my apologies, but graphite, that's not possible.
Perhaps you saw burned concrete.
Now there you made a mistake. Because I may not know much about nuclear reactors. I know a lot about concrete.
Conrad, I assure you that...
Understand? You think Legasov is wrong? How shall we prove it?
Our high-range dosimeter just arrived.
Oh no.
We could cover one of our trucks.
with lead shielding. Mount the dosimeter on the front. Have one of your men get as close to the fire as you can. Give them every bit of protection you have, but understand that even with lead shielding, it may not be enough.
Then I'll do it myself.
Oh, brave guy. I don't know about that now. That's why you're a soldier and someone like us regular people aren't. This guy's been nervous the whole time. Understandable though.
It's not 3 Röntgen. It's 15,000.
What does that number mean?
It means the core is open. It means the fire we're watching with our own eyes is giving off nearly twice the radiation released by the bomb in Hiroshima. And that's every single hour, hour after hour. 20 hours since the explosion, so 40 bombs worth by now. 48 more tomorrow, and it will not stop. Not in a week, not in a month. It will burn and spread its poison until the entire continent is dead.
Oh, nah.
Tell me how to put it out.
We'll use helicopters. We'll drop water on it like a forest fire.
You don't understand, this isn't a fire.
Mm-hmm.
Burning at over 2,000 degrees.
Yeah, regular water ain't putting that out.
You are dealing with something that has never occurred on this planet before. Boron and sand. Though that'll create problems of its own, but I don't see any other way. Of course, it's going to take thousands of drops because you can't fly the helicopters directly over the core, so most of it is going to miss.
How much sand and boron?
5,000 tons.
Damn.
And obviously, we're going to need to evacuate an
I
enormous...
mean, look. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Unless you pour that stuff directly over it, there's not really gonna be a guaranteed way to do it.
Anything we should be worried about?
Everything.
No.
Damn. Has to conceal it.
Flight maintain minimum 10 meter perimeter. Copy that. 40
I don't know how this can possibly work. Like, I mean, realistically, flying over it could be the only way to realistically do it right.
Too close.
I mean, yeah, it would kill them,
Or at
but
least the wind will have to carry it. Tell them they cannot go over the core.
they're dead. That helicopter about to crash. What I tell you? They probably died the instant they went into that. Now now I hope you see exactly how dangerous that stuff is.
Is there any other way, Legazo?
Where are you going?
Chernobyl.
Oh.
Not if they stay here.
We're staying here.
Yes, we are. And we'll be dead in 5 years.
Too depressed to even answer the phone.
A nuclear plant in Sweden has detected radiation. The Americans took satellite photos. The reactor building, the smoke, the fire. The whole world knows.
Mm-hmm. Can't cover it up now. That's a lot of the same looking buses. Yep, get out. You gotta evacuate. Get out. Everything there is no longer habitable.
The guards arrested this woman at the south checkpoint. I'd have put her in a cell.
But he thought you should know that I know. I know that your reactor core is exposed. I know the graphite's on fire, the fuel is melting, and you're dropping sand and boron on it, which you probably thought was smart, but you've made a mistake. Smothering the core will put the fire out, but the temperature will eventually increase. It will melt down.
Before it melts through the lower concrete pad, which gives us time.
No, you don't have a month. You have approximately 2 days.
Oh, God.
It's going to burn through the biological shield here by Tuesday. And when it does, it's going to hit these tanks, bubbler pools, reservoirs.
And your concern. But I confirmed it with plant personnel. The tanks are nearly empty.
No, they were nearly empty. Each of these points, here, here, and here, all drain to the bubbler pools. I'm guessing that every pipe in the building ruptured, and then there are those fire engines that I saw on the way in.
Fire hoses are still connected. They've been gushing water into the structure this whole time.
The tanks are full.
Oh, my
Tanks
God.
are full.
God, no. No, that was the absolute worst thing to happen.
It was my understanding that these large water tanks under the reactor were essentially empty. This is Ulana Khomyuk of the Belarusian Institute. Thanks to her insight, we are now aware that the tanks are, in fact, full.
When the lava enters these tanks, it will instantly superheat and vaporize approximately 7,000 cubic meters of water, causing a significant thermal explosion.
How significant?
Between 2 and 4 megatons. Everything within a 30-kilometer radius will be completely destroyed, including the 3 remaining reactors at Chernobyl. The entirety of the radioactive material in all of the cores will be ejected at force and dispersed by a massive shockwave, which will extend approximately 200 kilometers and likely be fatal to the entire population of Kiev, as well as a portion of Minsk. The release of radiation will be severe and will impact all of Soviet Ukraine, Latvia, Lithuania, Belarusia, as well as Poland, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, Romania, and most of East Germany.
God.
Impact.
For much of the area, a nearly permanent disruption of the food and water supply. Steep increase in the rates of cancer and birth defects. I don't know how many deaths there will be, but many. For Belarusia,
There are more than 50 million people living in Belarusia and Ukraine.
60, yes.
And how long before this happens?
Approximately 48 to 72 hours.
God. Oh.
Unfortunately, the tanks are sealed shut by a sluice gate, and the gate can only be opened manually from within the duct system itself. So we need to find 3 plant workers who know the facility well enough to enter the basement.
I'm pretty sure
here,
they all
find their
might be
way
gone
through
at this point.
all these ductways. Of course, we will need your permission.
My permission for what?
The water in these ducts. The level of radioactive contamination.
They'll likely be dead in a week.
We're asking for your permission to kill 3 men.
3 lives for millions of others. I mean, damn.
And for those of you working in reactors 1 and 2, promotions.
Why are reactors 1 and 2 still operating at all? Security guard that night, and She's now dying. And we've all heard about the fireman.
And now you want us to swim underneath a burning
Reactor. Do you even know how contaminated it is?
I don't know an exact number. You don't need an exact number.
To know if it will kill us. But you can't even tell us that. Why should we do this? For what, 400 rubles?
You'll do it because it must be done.
Just telling it how it is.
You'll do it because nobody else can. And if you don't, millions will die. If you tell me that's not enough, I won't believe you. This is what has always set our people apart. 1,000 years of sacrifice in our veins. And every generation must know its own suffering. I spit on the people who did this. And I caused the price I have to pay. I'm making my peace with it. Now you make yours. Go into that water. Because it must be done.
I mean, you could respect the honesty. Like, at that point, he's just telling them how it is.
On an ankle.
Where's Parlov?
Okay, that's 2.
Baranov.
3. That has to suck though, man. Like, you gotta throw away your life practically to save millions of people. And like, I mean, the worst part is you'll be enduring the most suffering part of it. To think that they gotta wear those baggy suits throughout there and they ain't even gonna help them at all. Like, it's such a messed up situation because, like I said, you know, they gotta pretty much throw their lives away to save millions of others. And it's a noble thing to do, no doubt about it. But at the same time, it just sucks knowing that the people that caused all this, you know, they are the results of these guys having to throw their lives away and stuff, while in the process killing a lot of others. I like how you can hear the little static wave thing that pretty much lets you know, like, of radiation and different things and stuff. Man, I know it has to feel hot up in there, like with those suits on too. Yeah, that thing is going. That thing's going crazy. Yeah, it's too strong for the flashlights. They can't stay active. I don't know what you can do from here. You can't see nothing. Oh, that's the end of the episode. Nah. Come on, man. Why do you have to end like that? Man, that was getting good too. Hey, look, all I can say is that this whole situation just messed up in general. Like, the whole, like I said, I think I said this already before earlier in the video, but the best time for this whole thing is literally when it first happens, the explosion, because all in all, when you think about it, that's when it's not at its worst. It gets worse progressively as it goes on. And as we see here, the guys that just went down up into the area where the water lines and stuff are and all that, we basically just saw how radioactive and stuff it was down there, because their flashlights went off, and they started breathing heavy at the end, and then it just went completely silent. That's what the subtitle said. It just said silence. Like, just from being down there for that small little length of period might have actually just killed them. So that stuff is actually way worse than probably what that what that physics lady has said about it and stuff. Like, it's a crazy situation to think of. Like, the fact that putting the sand on the stuff pretty much made it worse, because now it'll heat the sand so much to a point where it'll turn to lava, and then it'll melt going through and stuff, and then eventually it'll burst something and cause way bigger problems and stuff. Like, I'm really interested to see where this goes. Like I said, I have only ever known specifically about Chernobyl being a whole area infested with like nuclear explosions and radiation and stuff like that. That's all I've ever known. I've never really known the more deeper meaning behind it, with like everything the people were going through, and all the people that lost their lives and stuff. Especially the instant you go into that stuff, you're automatically clapped right away, and it's just crazy to think about. But anyways, that's episode 2 of Chernobyl, and like I said, I'm ready to get back on episode 3 right away. But yeah, that's episode 2 of Chernobyl, and we'll be back on here for episode 3. So make sure that you like the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next one.